10864. Station's your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck. Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. Up and in. 1 point more to go.
The opportunity to play, put Oregon on your chest, should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field. Back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
Senior day upcoming for Oregon men's basketball, and it's good to be back with you after we had women's basketball going on in the afternoon the last 2 days. I didn't have Duck Insider. I felt so lost. And now we're back. So congratulations on a great run for Oregon women's basketball. Now we await, I think they are squarely on the bubble. Now we await their postseason fate. I've got some thoughts. Certainly they might be a little green and yellow biased, but, you know, you are listening to Duck Insider after all. So I hope that everybody's on the same page with that. NFL Combine today. You can follow along as players like Christian Gonzalez, Noah Sewell, DJ Johnson going through the routine. I think it's a routine at this point, the way that the Combine works. Good luck, though, to those individuals. Some of them have already taken part in a lot of their drills today. Men's basketball, a nice win over Cal. We're going to review that. An 84-51 final. Dane Altman and Jermaine Cousinard talked with the media postgame. Now, Senior Day, 1 o'clock tomorrow, 12:30 pregame show here on the Oregon Sports Network. It's a CBS broadcast when the Ducks host Stanford on Senior Day. It'll be the 146th game that Will Richardson plays in, the most ever in an Oregon uniform. Congratulations to Will Richardson breaking that record set by Peyton Pritchard and Jonathan Lloyd last night. And I got to say, I just can't help but think how many games Peyton Pritchard could have played in that year. He might have gotten like to 150. Oh, man. Just still. Yeah, I remember it. Yep. The standings and the tiebreakers now. Before we review the game, I guess this is kind of what everybody's thinking about. So let's go through the standings. UCLA 17-2, Arizona 14-5, USC 13-6. Then it's Oregon and Arizona State tied for fourth place at 11-8. But Oregon owns the tiebreaker if the tournament started today. In fact, Oregon owns all of the tiebreakers that matter should the Ducks win on Saturday. Now, should Oregon lose and should Arizona State lose to USC, well, actually, Oregon owns most of those tiebreakers too. So the good news is that the Ducks, look, control what you can control. You beat Stanford, then the Ducks are the 4 seed no matter what. They would have the tiebreaker with Arizona State. Even if Arizona State beats USC, both teams would finish 12-8. The way the tiebreaker scenarios work, Oregon would get the 4 seed. That's where we're at. So Oregon will be the 4 seed unless the Ducks lose and Arizona State wins on Saturday. The Ducks are the 4 seed. That matters. Get that first round bye. Be the 4 seed. I'm all in. All in for the 4 seed. I think the Ducks made progress last night. I really think they did. Basketball not the only thing going on, I should say. We got baseball, some track and field updates for you, softball, a whole lot more going on around Oregon athletics today. No Luke War in the game last night. Had a concussion. He's going to be out tomorrow as well. And Brendan Rigsby broke a bone in his hand, so he's done for the year. This team just cannot catch a break injury-wise. You know, it's just been that way. And I was a little nervous, I'll be honest, when the Ducks got out to a bit of a slow start. At around the under 8 timeout in the first half, that was when Oregon pulled away and really never looked back. Khalil Ware Tyrone Williams, I thought at times, gave the Ducks nice minutes. It was good to see that without Luke Warr, without Brennan Rigsby. Williams, Ware, those guys stepped up, I think, in some ways. Hopefully some progress made tonight. The Ducks clinch a winning conference record for the 12th straight season. Hard to do. Ducks have finished above 500 in Pac-12 play in 12 of 13 seasons under Dana Altman. Second largest margin of victory this year, 33 points. The largest margin of victory since 2020 when they beat Cal 90-56. All right. Ducks swept the home and home with Cal. Averaged 85.5 points per game over the two contests, won by an average of 31.5 points. Oregon had a plus 24 advantage in rebounding, 45-21, a plus 20 advantage in points in the paint, 46-25, and the Ducks shot 55% from the field, 34 for 62. It's the second best field goal percentage in a game this season. The best was at Cal back on January 18th of this year. Ducks are 8-0 and they shoot over 50% from the field. Jermaine Couisnard scored 17 points efficiently as well. 6 of 8 from the floor, 3 of 5 from 3. His sixth straight game in double figures, at least 12 points in all 6 games. He's averaging over 15 points per contest over the last 6. Will Richardson scored 9 and played in his 145th career game, which is now the most ever by a Duck. Dana Altman, the Oregon men's basketball head coach, talked with the media, reviewing the win over Cal and getting you ready for Senior Day, 1 o'clock on Saturday.
Talked a lot about rebounding and turnovers. I feel like it's a different tonight for you guys.
We started off the game turning it over quite a bit, but then we, as the game went on, did a much better job. I think we had 6 at half and ended up with 7. So, I thought we did a better job as a game, but they were real physical to start the game. They were popping us around pretty good, and so, I thought as the game progressed and we opened it up a little bit, and, got out in transition, Jermaine hit some threes, really kind of opened up the floor for us.
You talk about Jermaine hitting those threes, just like how do you think he started to get going tonight, and how does he get hot so quickly?
Well, that's, he's spent a lot of time shooting the ball, and I think his conditioning has gotten better. The surgery on his knee, obviously was 11, it ended up being 11 weeks, and you don't do anything for 11 weeks, as far as running, cutting, makes it pretty tough, and so it's taken him a while to get back in shape. But no, he's got a good stroke, it's tight, when he gets balanced up, he's a good shooter, and he got a couple down there, and I think we started 0 for 3, and then I think we hit 6 of 10 to end the half. So I think we were 10 of 13 at halftime. So, that really opened up the game.
Dana, with ASU also losing tonight, kind of set you guys up to control your own destiny on Saturday to get that number 4 spot. What was your message to the team in the locker room tonight? What will be going into that game against Stanford?
We didn't talk about it, till after the game, and just said, hey, the opportunity, for us to win the tournament, it's an easier road to get 4th. Still doable if we get 5th, but we need to win the game. We need to beat Stanford. We need to play good. We need to keep getting better. That's been my message, throughout February, throughout March. Yeah, we need to win games, but fellas, we need to get better. Our communication, our connection on the defense, offense, execution of things, it needs to get better. And so, that's going to continue to be the message. We got to get better on Saturday. We got to hopefully find a way to win the game, but we also got to get better. And if we're going to go try to make some noise in the conference tournament, doing what we're doing right now still is not good enough. And, I watched UCLA a little bit, before our ball game, and they're playing at a really high level. Mick's done a tremendous job. Those guys are connected on the defensive end. They're connected on the offensive end. And you saw we got up on them at half here, and we should have been up more than what we were. We turned the ball over there the last 2 minutes of the half and didn't finish the half very well. And so, for us to make some noise here, we got to a lot of work to do here in the next week to get better, and it starts tomorrow, and we've got to get better on Saturday.
How do you feel about, obviously your highest scorer had 10 points, or excuse me, 17 points, and then you have 3 scorers with 10 points apiece. How do you feel about your team being able to share the ball that much without having a top-notch performer?
Well, we had an opportunity for a lot of guys to, we didn't have anybody take a lot of shots. Jermaine, took 6. Rivaldo took 8. 3 guys with 7, 4 guys with 7. So, we had a good distribution there of shots. Everybody got a couple opportunities, and we got some guys some in it. I thought Tyrone, man, it just shows he's shown such a great attitude. He hasn't had an opportunity to play, and he's come to practice every day, has really shown a maturity and a toughness. And then he got an opportunity tonight because Brennan has broke a finger. He's out for the year. And so Ty can give us some minutes there. And Luke will be out Saturday again. He got banged around in practice, and so he's out. Hopefully we'll get him back for the tournament. But both of those guys will be out Saturday. And like I said, Brennan is done for the year with a broken finger.
We saw a lot of the teammates going crazy after each of Tyrone's buckets. Was there something like that spurred his increase in minutes, or was there?
No, they're just excited for a young guy who's been all about the team. Guys respect that. It's not easy. I ought to know. I was on the bench all the time. It's not easy. Tyrone's a good player. He got way behind because he wasn't here this summer. We went to Canada. He wasn't practicing all summer. He didn't get here until September. He started out way behind, was way behind. And so it hasn't been easy for him. But the guys respect the fact that, he was all about the team. Even though it wasn't going good for him, didn't complain, never, didn't congratulate guys when they played well. He was all about the other guys. And that's hard to do. And it's become uncommon. It's not common, so I really respect the fact that he stayed with it. I kept telling him, make sure you're paying attention, because one of these nights I'm going to call you, and I hope you're ready. I said, I don't know when, I don't know where, but it's a long season. When you have 31 games and we start practice October 1 and we hit March 1, that's full 5 months. We've got a few weeks left, so it's a long season, and you got to stay ready. But it shows just great maturity, great unselfishness, and what a good teammate he's been to all the guys. All the guys like him. That's why they all went crazy, because they all like him, because he's all about the team.
Hey, 145 games for Will. What does that tell you about his career overall and just his availability and that?
Well, he's fought some injuries. He's shown some toughness. We're going away from guys wanting to go somewhere and stay. He's tired of me. He's heard everything, now over and over and over again. I don't come up with new material, so he's heard it all. And, he's had some ups and downs, but a lot of it, he hasn't. I just respect guys who play with a little hurt, play through things. And, as I've said, he's been here 5 years. He's been to 2 Sweet 16s. We've won 2 conference championships. We've won a tournament. COVID kept him from we won the league that year. We'd had a chance to win the tournament again. We'd had a chance to go to the Sweet 16 again. He's been on a lot of good teams, and he's been a big part of those teams. His freshman year, he was a big part of our Sweet 16 team. And, he was a big part of our Sweet 16 team in 21. When he was hurt early, we weren't a very good team, and then he had broke his thumb, and he got back in the team about midway through the COVID year, and then that's when we started playing well. So, you know, he's won a lot of games for us. He's a good basketball player. He's been up and down because of some injuries, but he's fought through them. He's shown a toughness that a lot of guys wouldn't show over a 5-year period. And so, been a big part of it. You know, I think somebody said that Johnny Lloyd and Peyton and him. I mean, Johnny was the first guy we recruited when I got here. And his toughness, Peyton's toughness, you know, those guys that stick around. You know, Johnny was here for 4 years, and then he played football for a year. And it shows you how tough he is. And then Peyton, I don't know if you can count the practices in 4 years that Peyton missed on one hand. Maybe 1 or 2 practices he missed the whole time he was here. I don't think he ever missed a game. And so, you know, Will's just, like I said, had the broken thumb and has had a few things that you can't play with, but he's played through a lot of injuries.
Do you envision that record being broken sometime in the future with the way that college basketball is now?
Probably not. Probably not. First of all, the COVID. You know, I mean, he missed some games because of injury, like I said, with the broken thumb and everything, and shortened season, the COVID year and that. But, you know, it'll be tough, you know, and guys are going to bounce around. And that's, like I said, that's their right, you know. If things were different out, you know, who knows if Will would have stayed here 5 years, you know. So, no, it'll be a hard record to break because of the COVID and because of the direction things have gone. And like I said, I don't think that's wrong. I think guys have an opportunity to go wherever they want to go. I want guys that want to be here. So I don't get all tied up in how this guy's going here, this guy's going here. You know, give us 12, 13, 14, 15 guys that want to be at Oregon. And hopefully, you know, they're all invested in being the best they can be, and then we'll just swing away and see what we can make happen. And but the game has changed, and you know, it's going to be different. You know, for guys like me who've done it 40 years, 40-some years, it's changed. And you either got to change with it or get fired or retired, whatever, you know. I'm trying to change with it. Do I like everything about it? No. But I want guys to have opportunities, and I want guys to play as hard as they can if they want to be here. And you know, we're not going to beg anybody to be here. We want them to want to be here.
Last question. What do you hope Saturday's environment's like? It's obviously important for you guys.
Well, I hope it's good. You know, Will's the only one that has to leave. You know, I hope the other guys stay. Dante and Quincy and Jermaine and Waldo. Brady's going to go. He's got a job interview tomorrow. He's going to be late for practice. He's already trying to interview for jobs. He's done at the end of the quarter here. He's not even going to finish the year. He's in a hurry to get out of here. But the rest of the guys have an opportunity to come back if they want. And I think they're all going to go through senior day and check out whatever opportunities they have. So that's their right. You know, I hope some guys decide to come back out of that group. But Will's the only one that has to check out.
Stan Altman talking with the media post-game last night. The Ducks getting ready for senior day against Stanford, 1 o'clock tomorrow at Matthew Knight Arena, 12:30 pregame show here on the Oregon Sports Network. When we come back, Jermaine Couisnard, look at the standings, and also women's basketball. We're going to talk about the Ducks of all sports. True variety on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Men's basketball senior day coming up. Jermaine Couisnard, after the win last night, met with the media. A lot of the tiebreakers are in Oregon's favor, but you got to take care of business in the final regular season game. Jermaine Couisnard, I think he and the Ducks took a step last night. Here's the Oregon veteran guard.
When do you know you've got it going on threes? Because you had a couple where you just got it and fired, and it was simple for you.
Yeah, I think just me knowing, trusting me, like what I put in during this week. So I just know, like, once it leave my hands and how I feel, I just know, like, it felt good. Every shot I took felt good. So I just feel like today was the day. Just keep firing.
You guys had that, I think it was a 22-9 run to end the first half, and that kind of gave you the separation you needed for the rest of the game. You know, what sparked that, and how were you able to kind of keep that going?
I feel like our defense, that's our biggest thing leading up, going into the tournament. We just want to working on our defense, clamping down more on people. So I feel like the defense started everything.
Coach talked a lot about you guys continuing to get better.
Yeah.
You feel like you took that step?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like players that didn't play, like I see Tyrone, he didn't play all season. He just came in, he been ready. So for him, that's what we need from everybody.
When the offense is like kind of running through you like it was during that 22-9 run like he was talking about, like what do you see in the offense that makes it run well?
I'll say it again.
Like when the offense is running through you, why do you think it goes well?
I really don't know. I just do whatever the coaches ask me. I just try to, if I'm open, I just let it go. But if I'm not open, just try to feed. I feel like people know I'm more aggressive downhill driver, so they try to help. So just create for everybody else.
David said that he feels like you're really starting to get your legs completely back after the injury. Is that how you feel too?
Yeah, definitely.
What is that? Is it noticeable in your game? Are there things that you can do now that you couldn't do?
Yeah, it was just me taking my body serious, just young, when I was younger I didn't really care, I would just play a game and just go on about my day. But just me coming early, just getting my body prepared for the day and just doing the things that I'm told to do. And I see like my legs starting to get back under me.
You talked about like preparing more for these practices, especially. Like, what are some little things you're doing now that you maybe weren't doing last year that go into your practice preparation?
Seeing the trainer a lot, just going into the trainer. Like last year, my coaches would laugh at me if we been in the trainer's office too long. So just knowing here they want us to take care of our body. So me being able to have time with the trainer, it's been good to me.
You go into Saturday knowing if you win, you get the 4 seed. Just what needs to happen the second time around against Stanford?
They got a lot of shooters. It's hard to stop them whenever they get going, making shots. So we just try to cut the shooting out early. Just get after them early in the game and just pressure them and just see what the outcome be.
Was there any defensive adjustments? You guys had 6 turnovers in the first half and then only 1 in the second half. Was there any adjustments you guys made?
It kind of led with me myself. It was just we was loose with the ball. That's it, just being more aggressive, just coming more to a jump stop, and then simple plays and try to do stuff that we're not capable of doing. So just simple plays.
145 games for Will. Obviously, you've only been here for part of it. But what does that mean to you guys in the locker room? Was there any celebration for him or any?
Nah, it's crazy. He actually I heard him say it when he was getting in the shower earlier, but I didn't really think, but that's crazy. For real, that's crazy. Just knowing how much he mean to this program, just knowing the sacrifice he made. So that's amazing for him.
Your senior day is on Saturday. How just strange is it where it's senior day, you could walk if you want, but you also can come back next year if you want?
Yeah.
What's just that how do you view that?
I just feel like it's no pressure for me. So it's I'm not in a rush to leave. If I come back here, that's the main goal for me. But just knowing, I know playing with these guys is fun. So I know it's only the last game, so and we just enjoy the moment for them.
At one point through that second half, you guys were over 60% shooting for the game. You've talked about hitting some shots getting into this tournament. How do you kind of build off of that offense momentum to get into the Pac-12 tournament?
Just everybody have confidence in themselves. We see each other day in, night out, just everybody in the gym, just individually shooting, working on their game. So I feel like just more and more we see people, I feel like everybody's going to have confidence to just be themselves and just play and just make good plays for each other. So,
can you describe just the importance that Will has on this program? I know you've only played with him for 1 year, but he's done a lot since he's been here, and he has to leave. He has no more years left.
Yeah.
Just how would you describe just his importance to this program?
Oh, it's amazing because it's things I know. I'm probably age-wise, I'm probably older than, but it's things he taught me on the court that I look he may get things easier for me. So it's I feel like he a big part of this program. He did a lot for it.
He did. It's not done yet. We'll see what the rest of the season holds. The tiebreakers are all in Oregon's favor. Should the Ducks take care of a victory against Stanford on Senior Day? 1 o'clock, we'll see you at Matthew Knight Arena. When we come back, women's basketball. Ducks got within 6. Recap the Pac-12 run and tell you why I think the Ducks should be in the NCAA tournament after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Now's the time to imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like Tundra. Go for a spin, enjoy some off-roading, or build your kids that treehouse you promised them. Hey, they deserve it.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends April 4th.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Now's the time to imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like Tundra. Go for a spin, enjoy some off-roading, or build your kids that treehouse you promised them. Hey, they deserve it.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends April 4th.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back on Nugget Cider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon women's basketball, really nice, exciting win over Washington. And then the Ducks, even though they got down, they fought against Stanford. Really good team. Ducks, I felt like, had some opportunities against Stanford, but look, Stanford's the number 1 seed for a reason. They ended up beating the Ducks 76-65, but Oregon got within 6 at one point. And then Stanford was able to turn the corner. Tina Paopao, though, continues her excellent hot streak after she kind of had a cold streak there for a few weeks. 28 points, 7 of 10 from 3 for Tina Paopao. And I'll tell you what, Coach Graves, I think he's proud of the team's performance post-game, and I want to let you listen to what he said, and then we'll tell you why I think that Oregon, with their overall record now at 17-14, they should be in the NCAA tournament. Here's Coach Graves.
Well, congratulations to Stanford. They deserve the win today. That's obviously one of the best basketball teams in the country. They're going to be great representatives as they move on, not only in the rest of this tournament, but then the NCAA tournament. I certainly feel like they're the kind of team that can win it all. I mean, they truly do have everything that you need. I'll use this moment to say that I hope we're a team that's included in that field. I think, with a net rating of 18 going into this tournament and playing Stanford relatively close isn't going to change that. Plus with a win, hopefully we've done enough. I've never been one of those guys that watches and prays and, if we make it, we make it. I think we're good enough. This is by far the toughest conference in the country. But tonight we just didn't have enough, 2 areas we didn't shoot it well. I thought we had some pretty good looks actually, and just didn't shoot it like we normally do. And then the rebounds, the second chance points. I think those are the 2 areas that just really killed us. But other than that, I thought we had a pretty good game plan going in. I was really proud of our team. I thought we played really hard. We did what we could tonight, but nothing to hang our heads over. We're just going to learn from it and build in the future.
Kelly Tara came up and said that you guys deserve to be in on. She thinks that 8 teams from the pack should get in. First question, what's your response to hearing her say that for you guys? And then 2, you guys fought so hard down to the very end. How much of that obviously was, just trying to get back into this game solely, but how much of that was also trying to maybe bolster that final resume before that selection committee decides?
I wasn't worried about a resume during the game. I mean, you play to win the game. Well, Tara, she's a pretty smart lady. She won a few games, championships, Hall of Famer. I hope she's also a seer, But I agree with her, and I think we're the type of team that people are not going to want to play. We're going to go in. I think the Pac-12, like no other conference, prepares us for an NCAA tournament. Look at how well the Pac-12 has done in the NCAA tournament over the last 6, 8, 10 years. We lap the second best conference because teams, you go through this gauntlet because we have no weak sisters, and you're going to be ready. So I've really come to appreciate Tara too. She's an amazing person, obviously an amazing coach. We align on a lot of things. Maybe it's because we're the 2 of the elder statesmen in the conference, but hopefully she's right on this one. And I congratulate them.
Kelly, if you're not in the NCAA tournament, would you accept a WNIT berth?
Well, my philosophy has always been, if somebody wants us to play, we're going to play. So,
I'll take that as a yes.
That's a yes. And, I think the team would rather play. I've never understood why people turn things down like that on some kind of principle. It's not like they're just going to go home and eat Cheetos and drink Pepsi and that kind of, or beer. I don't know. You guys are both of age. They're going to be in the gym working out. I think most kids would rather be practicing, and getting in the gym and working on their games a little bit. Tell you what, though, I'm really proud of this one. Well, and India, too. I know India tonight wasn't her night shooting the ball, but we don't get to tonight if she doesn't have the game she had last night. That's the way it works. But I'm just really proud of Tahina. What she's done down the stretch for us has been absolutely incredible. Incredible. Never hung her head, never blamed anybody, kept to the grind. I know she's taken a lot of this on herself. But I'm really proud of her. She's been an inspiration to me all year. And, both of these players are going to be players that I'll remember forever. Big part of our family. Grace and Chance are not 100%. They're not anywhere close right now, but they're still out there competing. Filipina has, shown that she continues to get better and better. Obviously, Tahina, and what she gives us has been enormous. We've got a really good, solid core that can come back. And who knows? I'll tell you, who knows? But I think good classes coming in. Our program's not going anywhere. That's for sure.
Kelly Gray is Oregon women's basketball head coach. So here's my argument, if you will. Now, of course, Duck Insider. Look at all the green and yellow, the O's that are around here. But I think that Oregon at 19 in the net, they're 17-14 overall. Pac-12 is the best league, as Coach Graves just alluded to. He put it this way, that the conference, the Pac-12, does laps around the second best conference. Look at the NCAA tournament history the last few years especially. So Oregon is number 19 in the net rankings. For example, Colorado behind them at 20. They're 23-7, Colorado is. UCLA, 24-8, number 22 in the net rankings, a top 25 ranked team like Colorado. If you're going to invent something like the net, which revised the RPI to be more accurate for getting an idea of the strength of a team based on their schedule, their efficiency, and their win-loss record. That's what the net does. If you're going to go to the net and use it, if Oregon is number 19 in the net and does not get into the NCAA tournament, then I have to sit here and ask myself, why do I continue to reference the net rankings when we review a weekend for the two basketball programs? If you're number 19 in the net, I got to think you're good enough to be in the NCAA tournament. The net is supposed to measure these things. We'll be able to debate this all of next week. But I wanted to make sure I said that today. When we come back, Oregon lacrosse is on the road. Big trip out east. Earlier this week, we sat down with Chelsea Hoffmann. Great conversation with the Oregon lacrosse coach. That's coming up on a little bit of a pregame show because they play this afternoon on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider is presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Before traveling east, Chelsea Hoffmann sat down with us. The Ducks are on the road, and it's a big East Coast trip because a lot of seniors for this team are from the East Coast. They get the chance to play at Navy in Annapolis today, and then they will actually play at Chelsea Hoffmann's alma mater, George Mason, coming up as part of this trip east as well. Oregon lacrosse, they're going to play this afternoon, and think of this as your pregame interview as we talked with Chelsea Hoffmann earlier this week. Anytime we get a chance to talk lacrosse in the Country Financial Studio, I'm always excited. You have the second longest walk of any head coach in the department.
Yep.
And second longest meaning it's what, like 12 steps?
Probably. I've got long legs, so maybe 8.
I like that. That's better. Yeah. Yeah, by that rate, I mean, you might get here quicker than anybody else.
Probably Graham, you know.
Yeah, Graham Abel's office is right across from ours, and then like 3 doors down is Coach Hoffmann. Coach, how are you?
Yeah, good to see you.
Things are good?
Yeah.
Coming off a nice victory, and then you get a chance to hit the road this week. I like to start generally in moments like this. It's early in the season. You told us some of the keys heading into the season. You feel like some of those keys have been recognized in your first few matchups this season? What have you seen from your team?
Yeah, I think, we're non-conference. The best part about it is we're still trying to figure out our identity and our strengths. I think, we've seen a lot of versatility in our offense, a ton of depth in our defense. So it's been great. I think the competition's been really high within our group. I would say no lineup, has been the same, just based on each week being a new challenge to get better and just kind of continue to commit to the process. So a lot of things I feel like we've seen. I think the biggest thing is to continue to grow in everything that we're doing week to week. So, great to get a win on Sunday. Now to need to refocus and get ready for, 2 new opportunities.
2-1 so far this season, and then the one loss is a 2-goal loss. I knew that was going to be your reaction. There were opportunities, I take it, in that one last Saturday.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities. I wouldn't say the score reflected maybe the whole game. We had about, a 3-minute burst that we were able to score 3 goals. One of our midfielders really went off, and it was kind of that we can finish this game. So I wish we had done a lot more to control the possession throughout. But I think we learned a lot about who we were and really were challenged. And kind of it was like the first time I think our team had to experience a scouting report and understand that we're going to be scouted. What we do in every game is going to get challenged. So we have to challenge each other during the weeks.
Beat Xavier to open the season 17-6, and then we were discussing the Niagara loss, the 12-10 results. So then you bounce back, though. Did you like the response that you saw in practice heading into Kennesaw State? 15-8, that's what we were just alluding to. You talked about the scouting report. This is a big question, I know, but it seemed like the team responded the way that you wanted during that week.
Yeah. Absolutely. We really just talked about preparation. It's got to be about our preparation and then building the confidence in our preparation, and that being a week-to-week challenge. So I feel like our team was really locked in. I think we've got great senior leadership in our captains and in our senior class. So I think they were able to just show what the work ethic needed to look like. And then we had a lot of athletes that really have just been chipping away to get into the lineup, and some that did a great job this weekend. That was really awesome to see, kind of their hard work, finally kind of pay off.
Yeah, I was looking through some of the individual numbers before we started talking, and it's like, you can look and it's like, okay, you get 3 games played, 1 start. There's not very many that are 3 games played, 3 starts, really. So you must like that competition as a coach.
Yeah, this is probably the first season I think we've had the depth and the competition consistently. I think the best part about it, and every elite team in the country, has that, where you can't be comfortable. Every day has to be, continuing to grow, continuing to challenge your mentality to be consistent, because that's what's going to really be key for us in our Pac-12 season is the consistency. We played 2 games, in back-to-back weekends. So how do we find that consistency consistency. So it's been great. I think it's been a challenge to our team. I think it's, new, where everyone kind of feels like, what am I doing? Am I doing enough? But, I think that's how you become an elite team.
Sure. Chelsea Hoffmann joining us, talking Oregon lacrosse. Hitting the road this week. Does it change when you've got 2 in a weekend? I mean, does it change your rotation, how you want more players? I don't know. Does it at all?
Yes and no. I think it changes our practice weeks in prep and how much load we're going to put on their bodies in the days leading up to it.
Sure.
Obviously, an East Coast travel is not easy either on the body. So that changes. I think this is going to be the first opportunity for us to see, what does this team have in the tank? Can they play 4 quarters, two games in a row? And, can we use more of our versatility and depth in the midfield? Or do we need to do something different within the way we're rotating our defenders and attackers? So it's a great, precursor for us for our Pac-12 season because we're on the road, 50% of our Pac-12 conference season. So we've got that Friday, Sunday schedule. And we haven't traveled since, the end of October. So as a team, at least. So it's a little bit of that, like, let's get back in it. We leave, early on a flight tomorrow morning. Right. So it's about just kind of getting into the hang of it and understanding kind of the expectation, whether you're tired or not, we've got a game to play.
Nice to be at home for the first 3.
Yeah, great to be at home.
Yeah.
And our crowd's been awesome. We recognized the Daisy Ducks on Sunday, so It's been awesome to get the community really involved. I feel like it finally feels like a real season, and I feel like just seeing the excitement for our athletes to play in front of a home crowd's been fun.
You bring up a great point. Like, I think all of us in different examples feel this way. Like, the COVID shutdown wasn't really that long ago, but it feels like it was an eternity ago. But it really wasn't that long ago. Like, you still feel that a little bit, even.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think it's just like thinking about like the new normal. Like, I was even thinking yesterday, like, are we wearing masks on the plane? Like, things that are simple to be like, what have we learned from COVID that's actually going to help us stay healthier in the long term? But just even like our parent group being able to like come out and be here, 2 seasons ago, no one was allowed to be in the stands. So, we didn't have that fan base. So getting that fan base back, it's a good challenge. And I'll give a shout out to Nellie, our director of ops. She's been awesome. And Calvin, our new communications manager. They've been great in just immersing themselves in the community to help us kind of build that crowd.
That's awesome. Well, and then a shout out to Nellie for the East Coast travel.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of logistics involved, with moving. So what's the packing list like for an East Coast trip where you've got the uniforms, but lacrosse has a unique piece of equipment, I'll say. How do you travel the sticks? I've always wondered this.
Yeah, we have huge duffel bags.
Yeah, okay.
So we actually just got new ones that are on wheels, so our athletes are going to be pumped, so they're
not
like, schlepping it through the airport. But no, some athletes actually that are pretty particular will actually disconnect the head from the shaft and put it in their backpack, just that way they know that piece of their equipment is going to come, because it is a little nerve-wracking. Like, you get all the way out there and it's like, are our sticks here? Like, kind of, I don't care about the uniforms, we'll play in our pennies, but like, are our sticks here? So it's weird. Like, I think about that softball, like, are the bats there? But you can kind of are bats replaceable? I don't know. Lacrosse sticks are very specific to this individual. So I mean, and then you add on cold gear and all that fun stuff where you're a different climate. Luckily it's been cold here, so we're kind of prepared. But
I was interested in that, because I gotta say, like, shout out to all of the managers, the equipment staff. Like, the traveling is no joke.
No joke.
And certainly some sports have more than others. I would say that a lacrosse stick is probably more akin to like a baseball, softball player's glove.
100%.
Like, I know baseball and softball players that will clip that glove to their backpack right in front of them, and they will hold it as if it's their baby. I get it. So that's interesting. But the logistics are a challenge, but it's also it's fun, right? You get a chance to go play at Navy, get a chance to play at your alma mater, George Mason. This is a good trip for you all.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the goal really for us to get out east is obviously to play Friday, Sunday, but also to be able to play in front of a lot of our athletes' families. We have 2 seniors that are from the Maryland area. So Alyssa Wright and Allie Bateman, it'll be cool that they get to, have their home crowd, have their families come out. But then we have juniors that are also from Maryland. So for us, it's like, just great to kind of get to the East Coast to see the level of competition. It's very different than, what we've been facing. But also just a great opportunity to, get to celebrate, our athletes that have been in the program. Our East Coast alumni are also coming out, and they're a huge component of how this program was like really developed. So we'll have some really neat alumni alums of the game come out and talk to our athletes. And, it's a business trip, so that's the mentality, but there'll be a lot of family and a lot of people that we get to interact with as well.
That's cool. I also understand that it's alumni weekend for George Mason lacrosse, and,
Yes.
and that, of course, they do that when an alumni is coming back to coach against the team. I wonder if that was intentional or not.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about when the last alumni that coached against them was.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't know. It's been a while. But yeah, it's kind of surreal, but it'll be cool going back. Actually the executive director of the IWLCA, who's our kind of oversees our coaches body, she's an alum of George Mason. So she was just out here last weekend. And she was like, I don't know if you think it's going to look any different. It might look the same when you were there, 10, 12 years ago. And I was like, all right, well, I'll lower my expectations and just kind of go with it. But no, it'll be cool just to be back and then to be able to see, people I played with. Luckily, we're green and gold. We were green and gold. We're green and yellow here. So
pretty good colors.
The colors aren't going to change too much. So
yeah.
Friends of mine that are in the stands, I might not assume that they're all in Mason gear, but, it'll be a challenge.
Yeah, just everybody wears green.
Exactly.
I'm glad that you brought that up because I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what uniforms are the Ducks going to wear? I mean, that's an important distinction if you were in the same colors, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. We don't have yellow, so we only have green. So I think we're in black.
There you go.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these are, again, the equipment staff, I don't know how you all do it. I just, yeah. Keys to success on the road. What do you want to see from your team this weekend?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is being able to continue to have that offensive powerhouse. We need to get the possession off the draw, and we need to keep possession and maintain it a lot more than we have. I think we played a lot more run and gun against the last three teams, but the biggest thing for us will be managing the possession, valuing it, really using the clocks to our advantage. Navy's going to be a really good test. They're a team that is really well coached, also a team that's receiving votes for the top 25. So it'll be a great opportunity for us to play a different style. But I think, initially it's about valuing the possession offensively, and then defensively it's being able to shut down their top threats. So I think our first focus is really on Navy, and then we'll, get to Mason as the weekend develops. They have a game on Thursday that we'll be able to get some scouting in. But Navy just came off a loss to Villanova. So, they're hungry to play another game. And we're playing in their home football stadium, which will be pretty cool. I think pretty historic for our athletes.
Cool environment.
Typically I've actually only played out on their other fields that are right on the water. So the environment will be really different than obviously Pape Field. So I think really for our athletes is getting their feet under them and understanding you can't win the game in the first and second corner. You gotta finish it in the third and fourth. But the possession's going to be key.
Friday, 3 o'clock Pacific time against Navy, and then Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time against George Mason, the schedule for Oregon lacrosse. Coach Hoffmann, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Really appreciate it. What we miss? Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Hey. Sometimes I get lucky.
Yeah,
thanks, Coach.
Crushed it.
Appreciate the time,
Thanks.
and safe travels back east.
Thank you.
They're taking on Navy this afternoon, and then they play George Mason coming up for Oregon lacrosse. Cool conversation with Chelsea Hoffmann, the Oregon head coach. I like that they go back and do that. It's like when you have a senior who's been on a basketball team, you make a trip to Fairbanks, Alaska for Ruthie Hebert. That's a pretty cool piece of the student-athlete experience that a lot of coaches around here, they'll really try to implement it. When we come back, a look around Oregon athletics. Oregon baseball coming up this afternoon. We'll tell you about that at PK Park, where it's always 75 and sunny on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. You know, Oregon Track and Field, we were talking about it a little bit earlier in the week, but now we've got the full schedule for you for indoor. The Oregon Track and Field team will send 10 qualifiers, 9 individuals, and 1 relay to the 2023 NCAA Indoor Championships. That's right. This year's national meet will take place March 10th through 11th next week in Albuquerque. Entries were announced on Tuesday evening. The meet will be streamed live on ESPN+ and through the ESPN app. Qualifiers are Elliott Cook in the mile, Lexi Ellis in the triple jump, Alyssa Hickey in the long jump, Jaden Mays in the 60 and 200 meters, Claudia Kazmareska in the mile, Alea McCormick in the 60-meter hurdles, Jada Ross in the shot put, Izzy Thornton-Bott in the mile, a lot of mile qualifiers, Urena Van Klinken in the shot put, who just broke a bunch of Oregon and seems like she's going to break world records here pretty soon. And the women's DMR qualified as well. Makai Williams, the two-time NCAA indoor qualifier and the 2021 NCAA champion, was a scratch in the 60. He will not compete in Albuquerque. Tough break for the Portland native. Tuesday's release of the national rankings, the Oregon women hold steady as the number 4 team in the country for a 3rd consecutive week. Women's golf, they bounced back from a pair of tough days. Pretty strong final round in the Darius Rucker. They're back in action in a couple weeks. A good game last night for Oregon baseball. Still, I don't think the Ducks are playing their best ball, but they got the win over a good Toreros team, who's now 5-2-1 on the season. Ducks hoping to make it 2 in a row. 3 o'clock first pitch today, 2:45 pregame show if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour. I'm headed over to PK Park here very shortly. Elsewhere, I mentioned Oregon lacrosse playing this afternoon. Oregon softball's been in action today. Oregon men's and women's tennis as well as beach volleyball. Acrobatics and tumbling also tonight against Gannon. The Ducks hosting Gannon at 6 o'clock at Matthew Knight Arena. What else do I have for you? Oh, Senior Day. Of course. Oregon men's basketball. Senior Day. Man, can't believe it. 1 o'clock. The Ducks taking on Stanford on Saturday. 12:30 pregame. See you at PK Park, Matthew Knight Arena, everywhere else. Have a good weekend.
Some of the best sounds you'll ever hear are generic. Safe. Effective. Even money-saving. Just like FDA-approved generic drugs. Even if they don't come in the exact same color or shape as their brand name equivalents, they have the same key ingredients and go through a rigorous review process. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today and visit fda.gov/generic drugs. Generics are safe, effective, and can save you money. You'll like the sound of that.
Unused prescription opioid